Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Today, we see Monkey here with a new Bitcoin video, and obviously, this disclaimer that says the content of this channel is for educational purposes only and no advice. Unfortunately, my mic is again cutting up a lot, so I'm just gonna go over what I said on the previous video. Hopefully, everything makes sense. But before I start, I have to mention this because it's just hurting me a lot. I had a I had a good position right here, as you guys can see right here. And this position was on my the exchange too, but the stop loss was so tight. The stop loss was so tight that I got out and so hurt. I was so hurt, and I was like, maybe just increase my stop loss. But the paper account's giving me $327. It's a paper. But anyway, first of all, guys, today we do have FOMC and we do have JOLTS today. So these two are very important, especially FOMC. People say don't trade over FOMC like that. Trade over FOMC and probably liquidity. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the liquidity to the downside around 33,382. We have 1 billion. To the upside around the 35,410. We have 7600 million. Obviously, there is a little bit higher, around 36,100. Take a look at the 36,100 on the chart. 36,100 brings us right here, right around here, we would say. So I'm going to talk about the upside, then I'm going to talk about the downside and the potential moves and everything. All right. So to the upside, as we could see, first of all, if we want to go up, or I start from the very top. All right, if we want to go up, first of all, we have to, once again, we hold it here. This is good. So we have to start going up, right? Start going up. So probably we're going to get another green candle, then a red candle, then so that being said, right now, if that's what's about to happen, we have to regain this sell side. I mean, this is a good sell side liquidity. You guys can see it's increasing. It's in its liquidity. Especially with these wicks that are happening. Soon we'll have to change the sell side liquidity to else. What we call it a slight imbalance, volume imbalance. But nonetheless, this, like I said, has to come and regain this area, the lower half of this bad angle, in order to go higher. If we want to come down, obviously this could act as a bearish retest, and the next one will come down to the lower. I said I'm going to talk about the high volatility side here. So this is the first thing that I want to see. Now, this is the high, right? This is the extreme. Between this and this, and you could see we got rejected here. So first we tried the high of this rectangle. We came down and then we came up again. Hit this area, right? The 34,800. And then we got rejected heavily. Came all the way down here. And between, we tried to reach to the high side a couple of times. It failed. But once it did, you guys could see, it holded essentially the very high of the rectangle. It did not exceed it to the upside, right? So that indicates that probably there is some sell side liquidity lying around this area right now. If sell side liquidity, this is no more valid. But there is some sell side liquidity lying around here. Go. So is this a volume imbalance? No, but this is a volume imbalance right here. All right. So above this sell side liquidity, there's a volume imbalance. So what price needs to do is first regain this volume imbalance, and then after that you can push it higher. You could push it higher for this area, right? Or we could this could act as a bearish retest and continues down just like its previous candle, as you guys can see, and this is the 1 hour. So this one down, this one. Now, right now we are 13 minutes inside of this. Talked about the high side, talked about this side, and I've talked about finish my move to the upside possible. What did I say on that sentence anyway? So I want to finish up the possibility to the upside. So essentially, as I'm showing you guys, the liquidation. Before I go into that, I want to show you guys the heat map too. So the heat map around here, which is 35,000, not flat, but 35,079, shows that there's 188 million, right? And this is just a spread as this is. Take a look at this one. This is Binance only, by the way. We do have a little bit of sell side liquidity below 35,000. So somebody wants to hold it below 35,000. We do see some spread out around here. Now, if I put this over a week, since it's been a week since we the upside, we could see that possibility of going up. 35K is a lot, right? There is some good spread here. There is a little bit of spread around here too. But most importantly is that we have to first take these out in order to bring the area, which is 36,000. So, and we could see that 36,000 is kind of empty, right? To the downside, I just want to go into the heat map, and then we'll go. So 33,895. We do have a little bit of outside liquidity around here. That's lying around here. There's probably that 642 million is around this area. As you guys can see, this is the 690. It's either this or this. All right, it is this actually. It's the up. Oh, could we come and grab this? As you guys can see right here, there were some sell side here, and probably some of them got executed, and that would push the price down because this is a spread of a big cluster. Okay, so every time it hits it, it gets get reached. Then finally, it holds maybe around here, and then with a spike up, it clear it out. Funding rate is kind of fine. We don't have to talk about it. This is the 24 hours. 24 hours shows that there's some good liquidity around here. 41 million to be taken. High, low 34,000, close to high 39, 33,000. And to the upside right here, as we could see, if we reach around 36,100, there's a gap all the way to 37,400. So that could mean if we reach around 36,100, we could just jump around 400. Just go here. From here to here. This is the wick side possibility. Once we get this, once we come around here, then there's a possibility of going higher. Now, I don't want to go into the higher, but we could see 42K. See a lot. I mean, it really depends on where it wants to stop. Based on these things that I have on this chart, we could see 43K and we could see 46K. I don't want to go into these. I don't want to go into even bit these, because I think that's irrelevant, especially today on a CPI. Anything happens. Going into details is kind of wasting, especially your time because you're watching this. Anyway, sorry for that voice. I just drank like a mug of espresso. But he drinks like 2 shots of espresso. I drink a mug of espresso. I mean, I stay awake 15 hours a day. Anyway, so right here we could see this yellow line with this blue line is doing a bear bull flag. The bull flag broke out from here. This was the debate, broke out from here. Retesting it. If it holds here, I could see we could come 35,000 to grab this liquidity. All right, and literally right here. I like this. Literally like 35,041. We check the liquidity for that too. 35,041, please. 35,040, somewhere around here. Okay, so maybe a little bit higher, but I want to make my decision on entry based on liquidation. That's not how anybody. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But so about these arrows that I drew, which is the previous recording, talk over them again. To the down, I mean, right now, Bitcoin is doing this pattern. As you guys can see, I drew this pattern. So we expect it to go high. And if we expect it to go high, the move to the upside started from here. Once we touched this bottom line, bottom support, we retested the low of this big momentum candle. Keep in mind, this is 1 hour, guys. We tested the low of this big momentum candle right here. That crawled to the side. You could see right here, one green, one red, one green, one red. one green, and usually the third one is the one that pushes back down. And right now it is this one that pushing it back down to at least here. So, and the one thing to mention here, let me just for some clear visual. So you guys can see one red, one green, one red, one green, and one red. This red can come all the way again to retest this area. Just mark this area for myself. So to retest this area, or even a little bit lower, somewhere around here, okay? And after we retested this area, then it pushes it back up. But keep in mind, we are right now testing the low of this, right, of this big momentum candle. Kind of successful retest for now. We could come all the way here. This is the absolute low of it. Let me just bring this back right here and then push it back up. And why didn't I take this? Because this big candle was retested by this one to the T here somehow. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking if we hold around here or come a little bit lower, maybe around this dotted yellow line, then we still go higher to this area. Let me just change this to lovely blue. I don't even see it if it's in blue. I'll put it in green. See that anyway. So yeah, but now it could happen the other way. It could be a red, green, a red, a green, and a red, and this red comes all the way here, which is 30,935, and this is the bottom or the support of this bull flag right here. Now this pattern right here could be in different ways. All right, let me show you guys this one. All right, so before this move, we remove this area. All right, so from here, this looks like both a descending wedge and a bull flag, right? And both of them are essentially going to the upside. But the descending wedge, right? The descending wedge, let me actually draw it. Yeah. But the descending wedge right now shows that it still wants to come at least retest it around here and then push it back up. So there is a retest happening. Yeah. Give me a second. There you go. This is what I would call it a good. That makes sense. So we are essentially at near the bottom. I would say just come wick this and then pick it back up if that's about to work. If that doesn't about to work, and this is just a false bullish signal, then now where is this area? This area is where we do have a little bit of a volume imbalance. Now let's talk about the low side. So I've talked about it on the other chart. I want to talk about it over this chart. Offset to the upside, we have to sell side volume imbalance first. Once we do this, once we go above this, then there's this screen that has to be taken, which is 34,888. You guys could see 34,880. You guys could see how many rejections we have here. 1, 2, this is third and fourth, and right around here too. They wicked to the upside, but then the body is kind of close to this, right? So I'll count them in. And after we take this out, I've talked about the higher side, higher possibility, essentially 36,100. I expect either a crawl here or a very spiky move here and then a rejection holding inside big here, right? If it holds at the low side and tries to, then go up, that would make, there's a lot of patterns that could play out. So spike up, come down, start to go up slowly, and then go. That's what I think is going to happen if the upside. We've seen this multiple times that we make it extreme and then we retrace half of it, and then crawl up slowly to that extreme again. And once we get there, we spike up again. So this could be that. Let me just hold it there. All right. And now to the downside, this 1 hour candle, I think 1 hour is enough. We could then take like 4 hours too. But to the downside, if this wants to lose, it has to just go down from here. Do something like this, come inside this liquidity, probably the low because the upper rectangle been taken a couple of times, multiple times. So probably come and retest the low, and if this holds, then we'll probably get a wick from the low, and the body needs to be at least at that side of this rectangle. If that happens, then we could see probably a consolidation here into some higher prices. But if we wick around here and then we hold at the lower, oh, see it some downside happening. Although we could do, give me my brush back. Oh, Jesus Christ, we could do this and then come back down too. Possibility like this. It really depends on the volume, guys. And on FOMC we get big volume, right? So, for example, if like this move is only like 1%, when the CPI starts, the retracement will be more than 1%. All right. You could see that it's picking up a little bit too. Sorry, I had anyway, like I was saying, so we could consolidate all, depends on the volume, really, that if we're going to hold the lower rectangle or the upper rectangle or whatever, maybe the consolidation is going to come all the way to here, right? Like I said, it depends on the volume. But the most important thing is to hit here. To hit here. And if you hit here, then there's two possible scenarios. How did we hit it? We have to if you take the lower side, then there's a possibility of going lower. If you take the higher side, or the mid, essentially the mid of volume imbalance, then there's a possibility of going higher. But keep in mind, we do have a local support right here. That's waiting to retest it. And I don't have any trend lines around it, right? And there is a little bit of buying buy side volume balance around here. So this could be in play, and you have to pay very close attention to it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add this, and this is like its own, one of its own, right? Right here. And this buy side volume right now, which we can see I took it from this, the midline is this wick. So what it needs to do is essentially it could come all the way here. Once it takes this, could just take this. I mean, this could be taken anyway, but I like to keep this in mind. Maybe this is a debate and we're gonna hold here. So just keep that in mind. And with that being said, if we want to go down, then whatever happens around here, I would say this area could be retested. Maybe the high upper side of this, which is 32,373, 32,373, 32,373, right around here. So if we go all the way to 32,700, then there's a gap all the way to 31,000. So 32,700, somewhere around here. If we take this out, then we could see all the way to 31,000, which is around this area, the bottom, very bottom of this rectangle. And if you take this out, then here comes this one, which is at 30,000. Okay, now this is important for me. How are we going to hold it here? And if we lose this, then there's a capitulation candle, and most important place to hold is 28.3, 28.4. If we lose 28.3, 28.4, I could say this whole move is over, and we had a beautiful Bart Simpson head. If you guys know what Bart Simpson head is, beautiful Bart Simpson head, and then from there we just grab the rest of this liquidity, and we're going lower, and that's it. But like I said, nonetheless, until we lose that 25.1, we really can't tell if. Look at the Dixie too. Dixie again is picking up on the buy side, as you guys see. So it went up to this area, it got rejected. It's now trying to break through it, and right now it's doing something like that. You go up, then you come down, and then you do a curved line to the downside. So somewhere around here, you could pick it back up, or you could just lose it from here. But I think there's going to be some consolidation at the low area of this which is 106.1, 106.15 something, and then we continue lower. And with that being said, guys, SPX does look bullish. It's trying to recover all this dump. We'll see if that happens or not. Today it's this FOMC, so we'll have to be very careful. And with that being said, that's all. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if I should stream on Kick or Twitch. And again, thank you guys for all your support and everything. Really, again, bye bye.